do my data visualization final project. A little about me to start. This is my third module of my MBA with a concentration in business analytics here at UTRGV. Previously, I completed my bachelor's of business administration and management from UTRGV while competing on the baseball team as a pitcher. I am doing my MBA currently as I'm finishing out my eligibility of playing baseball. So after I'm done with my MBA, I'm aiming to leverage my management and analytics experience I'm acquiring here during my time in school in either the baseball or retail industries. And that really gets into the point of my project and my topic. It's really what I'm passionate about. My topic is using MLB teams' real-world data and social media statistics to create insights into their revenue and their growth as an organization. I was able to grab my data from Kaggle, and my data was really insightful at first. Came with social media statistics for each MLB franchise, from Pinterest to TikTok to YouTube to Twitter to Instagram and to Facebook. I specifically determined that focusing on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter were the three most important social media platforms for my project. So there came in the challenges. First, it was really just the data set manipulation and curation, trying to make sure that the data that I had ready to go into Tableau was what I really wanted to use. And then figuring out what visualizations fit the data that I was going to use. That was a big time step for me. I decided that using different scatter plots and bar graphs was going to be the best way for me to show how my data was fitting into the story that I was trying to make and the points that I was trying to prove. And then lastly, just correcting all the values in the data set. There were a lot of high numbers, whether it be into the 100,000s or millions when it comes to the followers or the likes or the following count for each individual social media platform and team. So me just being able to go in there and curate every single cell to how I wanted it to be, making sure the format was right for all the numbers, so that when I got into Tableau and started working with the data and making my visualizations, I was able to really get stuff done and find valuable insights within that data. And then getting into my data visualizations, here's my overall followers dashboard. As you can see, it starts with the total followers for each team in a bar graph, and on the right it shows the top 5 teams for each of our 3 social media platforms that we're going to be focusing on. And it's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And as you can see, the annotation says the Yankees, Dodgers, and Red Sox and Cubs are all in the top 5 for followers on all 3 major social media platforms. And that's a big insight because you can see they're the 4 highest total followers, and they are all in the top 5 of those categories. And then you can also see right here, the New York Yankees are blowing everyone out of the water, just because of how big of a brand they are already compared to all the other teams. Their 27 championships are really giving them a lead in the follower count. And then getting into this first visualization, showing again that the Yankees are king when it comes to total followers and estimated revenue. Here's our first scatter plot where we can see these dots are plotted along this graph, and in the top right you can see that it shows the Yankees and their total followers and their estimated revenue for the past 10 years. They're obviously in the top right corner because their total revenue for the past 10 years and their total followers are above everyone else. And then down here on the left, I wanted to showcase the Washington Nationals, who are, based on the trend line, they're so far above the trend line more than anyone else that you can see that they're really their revenue is really outweighing their total number of followers that they have. So that's a good trend for them to have, not having to rely on having such a big following. They're doing other things outside of social media to promote revenue. And then here at the bottom we have the Oakland Athletics, which is a big story in baseball right now because they had just decided that they were going to move from Oakland to Las Vegas. And as you can see, a lot of the higher revenue organizations are already in big cities, big markets. Oakland, a pretty big market, but at the same time, it's not as big as Las Vegas or Los Angeles or New York or Boston, these other big cities, big names that are going to promote revenue and promote following. And then here we can see we got two more scatter plots stacked above each other to show their correlation. The top one being the win percentage, or how the win percentage relates to the revenue. So we're going over the win percentage for each organization for the past 10 years. The LA Dodgers stand out up here on the top right, highest win percentage by a long shot over the past 10 years. And their revenue is right up there with the Yankees, second best. And then on the bottom here, we'll also see that they're up there, the highest followers, third highest followers, highest win percentage. And then here I'd like to point out a key discrepancy in our graph. It's mostly correlated, but here's one part where we can see the New York Mets are above the trend line, having higher revenue than the average MLB team based on their win percentage. And then we can see their followers are actually below the trend line, showing that they also do not need a high amount of followers to be able to compete and gain more revenue, because at the end of the day, baseball is a business, professional baseball especially. That's what matters, is making money. Winning obviously matters, legacy, but making money, it's a business. So here we'll see the platform follower distribution of the top 5 teams that we already talked about, or the 4 being the Red Sox, the Cubs, the Dodgers, and the Yankees, and then also the San Francisco Giants coming in 5th in the total followers category. And then here we're going to see that Facebook followers are the highest for every single team in the top 5, making up most of each of the teams' following count. And then here's one discrepancy that we can see where Instagram followers outweigh Twitter followers, with all other 4 teams having higher Twitter followers than Instagram followers. The Los Angeles Dodgers here in the middle, you can see, have a higher number of Instagram followers than Twitter. And then here we see our engagement to revenue overview. So on the left, we'll see the scatter plot of average Instagram likes per post versus the amount of Instagram followers, which we're showing the amount of engagement each specific team is getting with their individual posts. And that's really important to see how engaged the fans are. Make sure we're not just posting and people aren't actually seeing it and engaging with it and taking in the media. And then one point I'd like to point out is that the Atlanta Braves engagement is not translating to their revenue. You can see there the number 3 most liked average like posts, and then on the right you'll see they're still middle of the pack when it comes to total revenue. And then here I just broke down one of the divisions using the filters that I created. The American League Central is really a division that's not, it's 5 you have the Kansas City Royals, the Detroit Tigers, the Minnesota Twins, the Chicago White Sox, and the Cleveland Guardians. And so here you can see that we're showing the followers to revenue dashboard, and the scatter plot will show that the Kansas City Royals, their revenue is just way below. They're the second most followed team in the division, but their revenue is way below the other 4 teams. And then here you can see the Detroit Tigers are obviously the highest in the division when it comes to total followers, but still second in the division when it comes to revenue. And then here we can see when it comes to engagement in this division, there's one outlier throwing off the entire trend line, and that's the Chicago White Sox. They are averaging 20,000 likes per Instagram post when their Instagram followers are fourth in the division. So that's really encouraging for them that their fans are engaging with their media. And then at the end of the day, and then there's three more points I'd like to make based off the findings of my final project. So when it comes to baseball, social media, and all professional sports, really, social media is really the biggest driver in this day and age. And the statistics will show that Facebook is obviously the oldest platform out of the three, so that is going to accumulate the most followers over the years. And then when it comes to revenue and its relationship with followers on social media, it's going to be a direct correlation based off the amount of engagement you can get. And then that it just factors right into how successful the team is. With their win percentage, that's going to be correlated to revenue, because the more you can make off social media and sales, that is going to correlate into how much money you can spend on the players and your facilities and making your organization appealing and creating a winning culture in the organization. And at the end of the day, baseball is a business. It's about making money, so that correlates directly back into your revenue and your success there. So not just your success on the field, but your success off. And yeah, that will conclude my presentation. Thank you very much.